Welcome to worshiptutorials.com.
Hello.
Helix Firmware version 3.1.
Helix.
Helix and HX Stomp.
HX.
HX Stomp, yes. Is out now. If you have not downloaded it, go get it. Update your Helix or Stomp device. It's awesome. And like Line 6 does, they've given us all kinds of awesome stuff for free with this new firmware update. In this video, we're going to show off the new Orange Rockerverb 100 watt amp model that is new in Helix Firmware 3.1, and we're also going to demonstrate a little bit the hidden gem in this firmware update,
Yes.
in our opinion. And for us church players, the thing that I think maybe one of the most important updates Line 6 has made yet.
Yep.
To the Helix.
Are you interested? Are you sucked in? Are you dialed in?
The dynamic Hall Reverb.
Ooh, doggy. This update has flown under the radar. I don't think anybody's expecting.
People weren't talking about it. It's out now. I mean, it's like people were not talking about it. We have a beta version, so people
at this point,
people are currently
the time of taping.
Right now, in this moment, in this room, are not talking about it. We're talking about it.
We are.
Other people aren't talking. You follow, right? Okay. So this video is about the new Orange amp model. We have a preset based on this model, linked below. We're going to walk you through what you get. So this video is a 2-for-1. One, you get to hear the new Orange amp, you get to hear the new Hall Reverb, and you just get to see what this patch is all about. Bradford, take it away with some clean. We're going to just walk through these snapshots. Here's the clean tone. Now you might notice that clean tone is not so clean.
You may be saying to yourself, do these boys know what the word clean means?
And we would say yes.
Yes.
But you also have to take into consideration the amp that you're playing through.
Yes.
And where it sounds best.
Yes. We tried. We did a little bit of everything. Take away too much gain. It felt a little anemic.
Yeah, that's the word.
But we obviously don't want to goose it as like the bass tone.
Mm-hmm.
Clean. Now look, I'm on the bridge pickup. If I pick lightly, if I want to play chords but roll the volume knob back,
there you go.
Then we play the same thing with the volume all the way up. So I played the same thing. We're gonna make you work for it. And honestly,
use the controls that
use these knobbies.
There you go. You can get clean tones, no problem, out of this amp. But this is a rock amp. So it really shines when you either hit it with gain or gain the amp up. Both of those options are available to you in this preset.
That option.
Yes, so let's do drive and drive plus. This is where this amp sounds best. The Helix has a tuner. We'll employ it here one of these days.
Going into a guitar with a mastery and drop B kind of throws it for a loop.
So while Bradford tunes, I will just say this is the Orange Rockerverb. It is in the name of the amp. It is a rock amp with reverb on tap. So if you are into more like rock type of sounds, especially more modern hard rock stuff, this is going to speak your language. There is a reason I'm holding this guitar in my hands. Because this would be more like the types of players that would play this amp would probably play guitars that look more like this than they do a Jazz Master with a mastery bridge and P90 type Jazz Mastery pickups. So we have a humbucker version of the patch as well, as we always do with our patches. Let me just pull that up and I'll go through these sounds with a humbucker guitar. Okay, so this is going to be your clean tone in the humbucker setting. go. If you roll back on the volume a little bit, you get cleaner tones. All right. And
I like this, before we move on,
Yeah.
I like this for the fact that it's different. It made me play different.
It's not like the rest of our patches.
It's not.
Well, some of the rest of our patches.
Yeah, it's not.
The bread and butter.
It made me play different, and so a good application for this patch, especially when I grab that guitar, is like a real big upbeat opener. Maybe you want something that soars a little bit more. Sure, could the drive sounds in the other patch do it? Yeah, but you'll hear, and I said this because you'll hear when Brian plays bridge pickup on the drive snap, you'll hear that it just has like that. It just sings. So, it's perfect.
I didn't mean to play that note, but it kind of worked.
But see, it just sounds more rock. You can't coax a box to do that quite the same.
Yeah, and that's this amp's sweet spot. Yeah. They built it to turn up.
But
all right.
But
yes,
it can still sound wonderfully, deliciously ambient.
Yeah,
Brian,
clean.
Learn us some things.
I'm gonna cheat and use the number 2 position on this PRS Custom 24, which is kind of like a split coil. It's like a humbucker single.
That's not cheating, Brian. That's using the tools.
Using the guitar. Yes. So here goes. That's that reverb. That's that new dynamic.
So
reverb.
that was with the
Sounds
El Capistan. Brian, give us just one little a few note lead line, just so they can hear the verb, no delay.
Okay.
I am willing to go on record and say...
You're on record.
This is on record. This, for those of you who maybe feel, for whatever reason, that the reverbs cannot hang...
With, Strymon.
Strymon, the big
Eventide.
boys. The separate... Which, again, I've said this before. A $500 delay pedal is its own thing compared to an $1,800 unit that does everything. I'm okay with it not being the same.
$1,600.
$1,600.
There you go.
This verb can hang.
It's good.
With all of it. It's got
really
the density. Good. It's got the misty thing, which that's a thing I like. I like when verb kind of has this. The mist has harmonic content.
Yes.
This is choice. It's just thick, but not in the way thick. It's dense. It's got, I think it even has a diffusion setting.
Yes, it does. It has a diffusion and a damping setting.
So damping is for shimmery, metallic-y things. Diffusion is if you crank that bad boy up.
Which we did.
We did. We went to 90%. If you go to 100. But it kind of just makes it sound more misty. Think of if misty is this side, granular is on this side, basically. So cranking it up makes it more smooth and even.
Yeah.
And turning it down. So... I love it because reverb, I think I would go without delay before I'd go without reverb. Mm-hmm. And I love me some reverb. I have loads of them. And
we love reverb.
The fact that the Helix has this, I could use, even at a smaller setting, we opted to not do it, but we could have used the dynamic hall at a smaller setting.
Yeah, you can make it sound small.
So nice. Mm-hmm. And I could get by with just that one verb. I felt like the way the controls they give you is enough that you can really tune it, dial it in. You got a pre-delay, which... Don't neglect pre-delay. That is key to making your verb sound bigger. So, anyways.
The other thing about, when it trails off, there's some, the Strymon, the Big Sky does this thing where it's it trails off and almost feels like the tone goes, like this. It doesn't really change the note, but it feels like it's doing something
it's EQing on the way out or something.
Yeah, and it's it's like it has a different sort of a decay, and this has it.
Yeah.
Where it feels like it's moving around as it decays rather than just fading out.
My heart.
It's really, really good. Another thing about this reverb that we've noticed is it doesn't really use more DSP than the typical.
Considering what it's doing,
like
it's
the
impressive.
the newer reverbs that they added in 2.5. You remember firmware 2.5?
Yeah.
Remember that?
We had to update all our patches because we wanted to put all the good verbs.
Yes. So this doesn't seem to use more DSP. In other words, we took like a bunch of, we've taken presets and removed glitz and put in dynamic hall, for example, and it's not like we couldn't fit it.
Yeah.
So, kudos to line 6. That's what that one sounds like. Of course, this preset will give you some 80s goodness as well. Little 80s clean. That's the dynamic hall again. I was letting it trail off.
I was about to say.
It sounds so good. Oh man, we're making a separate video on that, but this is a teaser for that video. It's I think the best update Helix's Line 6 has made for the praise and worship.
It is.
Yeah, it's good. All right, and then you get like the praise and worship lead. So there's a solo snap that's more like a classic rock kind of solo.
Yeah.
And that's on the bottom row, and then you got the PW lead.
It's the rock thing. Like,
yeah, it sounds good.
It's bumping for that.
Big, yeah. So if those clean sounds work for you for what you like to play, and you're really into this rock type thing, this patch might be perfect for you. That also had the dynamic hall on, by the way.
Yes, it did.
Man, that's changing the game for me for Helix. I know this patch is about the orange amp. It's about both of them because they're both featured in here.
We'll be using the dynamic hall a lot. Before everybody asks, though.
Yes.
We are not going to be going back to all our patches and dropping.
If anything, we have a free. We're not making a promise here. We've discussed this. We have a free favorites pack, which you can download below. And we have talked about throwing in a couple of the dynamic hall settings into the free favorites pack. In which case, you could easily just copy and paste it in for any of the bigger reverbs in any patch that you have.
Or
it would work.
Grab this patch and copy it from there.
Copy and paste it out. There you go. Save that dynamic hall setting that we made up as a favorite in your Helix or your Stomp. And then go from there. So we're using
This was weird. This was
two
interesting.
IRs. This was a labor of love.
Tricky's the word.
So we have a growing library of cabinet IR packs.
In-house IRs.
That we've made. And one of them that we thought was going to be our go-to for this is a 212 cab loaded with UK Celestion greenbacks, a G12H and a G12M. And we thought that was going to be a great fit for this amp, and it did sound really good. But we also have IRs of the AC30 with Celestion Blue speakers, also UK Celestions. And we ended up mixing and matching those two. So you get an IR from the AC30 Blue, and you get an IR from the G12H30 cab. And together you get sort of like, you get a little bit of chime and clarity in there and like a mid-range thing from the Vox cab.
Yeah.
Plus you get just the straight up, plug your rock and roll amp into the 212 greenbacks. There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like you'd think it would.
And just using 2 of the G12s or like using 2 of the blues just wasn't, it was like the blues tamed it a little too much, and we wanted to kind of let the character of the amp shine through. But the G12s were almost a little too rockin' on the clean stuff too. So So it surprisingly it worked great because we were both like, well, why don't we just try it? But I didn't really think it would work, but it did.
It worked well.
Or if you don't really like that, you can swap for other IRs or something. So IRs change an amp a lot in ways that EQing will never do.
It's a really good time to be a Helix owner. because the thing came out like 5+ years ago.
And
but they're still
getting
adding
better.
so much value and so much great stuff, and the stuff they add just sounds better and better and better as we go. The Helix is one of these rare pieces of gear that has just become a different, better thing over time. The new orange patch for more tutorials, link below. Go grab it. Update your Helix if you haven't, or your HX Stomp. Is this available for PodGo, Bradford?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know, actually.
So Line 6 did just recently, as of the filming of this, release a new update for PodGo that added some of the things that came with Firmware 3.0. So they may add some of these things to PodGo in the future, like the new Hall Reverb or this new amp model. If they do, of course, we will port this preset over to it, and it will also be linked below. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.